Hello and welcome to The Underground, the first episode of its series. I'm the Pied Piper, and in today's episode we're going to cover some network sniffing with Cain and Abel. But before we do this, I'm just going to introduce the show and tell you what it's all about. So basically, The Underground will be a YouTube series on how to use various hacking tools and hacking techniques. I'll cover a lot of things such as password cracking. I'll cover a little bit of Hack This Site, which is a great site. You should go check that out. That will involve cross-site scripting and SQL injection. We'll do some nice Wi-Fi hacking, which I always enjoy. It's great going on holidays and hacking into someone's Wi-Fi network and having internet. We're going to do some network sniffing. That's what we're going to be doing today with Cain and Abel, but we'll also cover some various other tools. We're going to do some box ponying. We're going to set up some virtual boxes and own them. I'll show you how to do that later on in this series. And we'll probably use some tools like Metasploit and Social Engineering Toolkit. We'll use other tools too, and we're going to be using the penguins most importantly, so don't be afraid. You will get used to it and you'll start to notice that Windows is actually a really crappy operating system. And in Linux we're going to use some Ubuntu first off, and then we'll go on to Backtrack, which is mostly a command line operating system. So, network sniffing. Well, network sniffing is basically reading the packets that go across the network. So it's kind of like wiretapping. You're kind of reading the packets and that sort of thing. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be using a technique called ARP poisoning or ARP spoofing, and this is pretty easy to use with Cain and Abel. So let's continue. Now you're probably wondering, what the fuck is an ARP? Like, what the hell is he on about? Well, when a host or a computer wants to send a packet, it needs to know the computer's MAC address that it wants to send to. Just like you need to know the address of someone you want to send a letter to. So it asks the other computer with an ARP request, what is your MAC address? And then the computer responds by sending its MAC address. So this is called an ARP reply. So as you can see, computer A wants to send a packet to computer B, so it sends an ARP request to computer B. Then computer B replies with an ARP reply, and that contains the MAC address of computer B. It may be a little bit confusing at the moment, but I'll give you some extra resources later on so you can go and do it more in depth. So what is ARP poisoning? Well, by lying to the other computers that you are the computer they want to talk to. So all the traffic goes through you. And this wouldn't happen before. You'd only get the traffics that would be sent specifically to you. So you can sniff the traffic for passwords and usernames and other useful data. So that's quite interesting. So what ARP poisoning really is you just, if for example, computer A wants to find out, wants to send a packet to computer B. What the attacker does is sit in between them, and then when computer A sends an ARP request, then the attacker sends an ARP reply with its MAC address. And so therefore computer A thinks it's talking to computer B, but it's actually talking to the attacker. And then the attacker reroutes the traffic. So computer B still receives it. It just looks at it before it's actually sent. So there are a lot of programs that can do this. The most popular ones are Cain and Abel and AdaCap. Today we're going to be covering Cain and Abel because it is a Windows program and it's got a graphical interface, which isn't really the case for most hacking tools. So I hope you enjoyed it. For more information, check out oxford.it.downloads/up-intro.swf and check it out. That's got a great presentation on how it works and what ARP poisoning is really about. I just gave you a very, very brief crash course on what it actually is. So let's continue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to my XP bitches, and what you want to do is just go over to oxford.it/cain.html and download Cain and Abel for Windows NT 2000 and XP. Don't worry if you got Windows 7 or Vista, it will work fine on them. So once you've downloaded that link, just run it, and next, finish, and then you want to install the WinPCAP driver, so go install, next, I agree, install. How many times have you done that in your life? Finish. Alright, so once you've installed it, you'll probably see a desktop icon. If not, just go to all programs and go to Cain and launch it from there. So I'm just going to launch Cain, and it'll probably prompt you, Windows Firewall is enabled. I'm seeing some Cain features might work. You do not need to disable your firewall for this demo. Also, some antiviruses may pick it up as lethal as it is a hacking tool, so you'll need to add an exception to that too. So just click OK. And I forgot to mention, probably when you first start the spoofing, it will come up with the firewall prompt and you'll need to unblock it. So any prompts, warnings that come up, it isn't a virus. I've used it multiple times. It is not a virus, okay? I'm not trying to own your computer or infect your computer. It's used by heaps of people and it's a pretty common tool. So what you want to do, once you've launched it, you want to just click configure and make sure you've got the right device selected with the right IP address. So click that. So that's all fine, and you should be right from now on. You want to go to the Sniffer tab at the top. I'm just going to clear all these because I forgot to do it. Alright, so I'm going to go over to my Sniffer tab. Make sure you've got host selected down the bottom, and what you want to do is start the sniffer by clicking the icon there, and then you want to click the plus button. You want to go all host in my subnet, so it will scan your network range and it will get all the ones that reply. So we've got a couple of computers. I know that 10.0.0.102 is my computer that I'm actually running the virtual boxes in. This computer is my other XP, and 10.0.0.1 it says Belkin, and that's my router. And these are the computers. I'm pretty sure that they're my laptops. So once you've sniffed the network, you want to go down to the ARP tab in the sniffer section and make sure you've got the ARP selected with the hazard icon. Click in the top box here, then you want to click add. Now I'll come up with a list of IP addresses. You want to select your default gateway, pretty much all the time. So if you don't know that, just open CMD and type IP config, and we've got 10.0.0.1. It's probably going to be the most top one or there, so you want to select everything in the box, click OK, and it will add those to waiting to be upped. So once you've done that, you just want to click the up icon and it will go ahead and do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some testing. So I'm going to switch over to my other XP box. I'm going to run Internet Explorer 6, and we're going to test this on multiple internet browsers to try and get a feel on what actually happens and what this tool is actually doing, which is what I do when I'm testing a tool and working out the kinks of a tool. Is I set up a bunch of virtual boxes and use it with them. So I'm going to try and sign into a Google account, press OK, and it's come up with a security alert. Information you exchange with this site cannot be viewed or changed by others. However, there is a problem with the site's security certificate. The security certificate was issued by the company you have not chosen to trust. View the certificate to find out whether you want to trust, blah blah blah. Okay, so most people are going to go, oh yeah, whatever, press yes. I want to proceed. I want to get to my Google account as fast as possible, and I'm just going to try and get rid of all those pop-ups and get it there as fast as possible. That's what most people are going to do. It's going to happen every time. No one cares about warnings. They're just going to go, get rid of this BS, and I just want to go to my site. So they're just going to click, okay? They're just going to click shit, okay? So they're going to type in their login, and they have no idea what's happening on the other end, and they're just going to put in their password, and 456, sign in, let's sign in. Oh yes, no, let's go. Oh, okay. And normally that would be login, but I just used the fake one. So over in the attacker, we can go over here and we can see the certificates that it's collected here. Actually, it's under HTTPS, and we can't actually see where they came from. Not to worry. We want to go over to our password section, and boom, look, we've collected the username and the password. Even though Google uses HTTPS, which is encrypted traffic, what Cain and Abel does is it gets a proper certificate and it creates its own over that and sends the victim the wrong certificate, so therefore we can collect what they enter into the boxes without it being encrypted. So there's one site. Let's go to hotmail.com. Okay. And again, let's type it in. Oh, and yes, we're going to click this because we want to get in, we want to sign in, we don't care. And it's not going to let us in, but we can go over here and we can see that we've entered our Hotmail. Here we can see that we've got our Gmail. And this should work pretty much with every site. Now, let's see what happens if we go into a recent browser. Now, I know Internet Explorer 8. I think it's up to Internet Explorer 9 now, so this is the most recent one. So let's see what happens on this on Internet Explorer. So I'm just in my actual computer. It doesn't matter what thing you're using, it just works the same. I'm going to sign in. Oh, Okay, well, the security certificate presented on the website is not issued by a trusted certificate or author. Security certificate problems may indicate an attempt to fool you or intercept any data you send to the server. So it's going to come up with this. Most people are not going to read that, but it's a little bit warning or a little bit in your face than Internet Explorer 6 had. So we recommend that you close this web page, but if we close this web page, close this browser, how shitty is that? But I just want to go into my Google account. So they're going to go back and they're going to just sign in. They're going to see it again, and they're just going to continue because they just want to get into their stuff. They just want to do everything. As you can see, it's pretty red. It sticks out a lot more than it did with Internet Explorer 6, and I'm just going to sign in. And let's go over to our attacker machine, and we can see that we're logged in. Now let's see what happens with Google Chrome. I'm going to sign out of my account. Go to hotmail.com. Oh, this is pretty red too. You attempted to go, but the server presented a certificate that it is not issued by entirely and not trusted by your computer operating system. This may mean that the server has generated its own security certificates, which Google Chrome cannot rely on for identification information, or an attacker is trying to intercept your communications. Should you not proceed, essentially you'll never back to safety. Oh wait, what? I wanted to get to Hotmail. And they're just gonna go proceed anyway, cause they don't care. And they're just gonna enter it in. So it's pretty big warning. Only power users will go, hey, wait a minute, that's not right. And let's see Firefox. I think Firefox has the biggest warning and hardest to get by out of all of them. So I'm just going to sign in, and it's going to say the connection is not trusted. Normally you'd try and connect to trusted by people. What should you do? You should get out of here. If we can go technical details. And it doesn't even let you. It doesn't even let you go anywhere. So it doesn't let you proceed. So if the user's running Firefox, you're probably not going to be able to collect their information. So there's the limitation. We found one limitation of Cain and Abel. So there you go, that's what happens on different browsers, and I recommend you play around with different settings and see what happens before you go test it in real world. Like, that's what I do. I get familiar with the tool and then I go test it in the real world. So there you go. That's Cain and Abel. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Remember, don't click shit. And if you ever see this again, do not proceed, because you know someone's trying to up the network. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And later on we'll do some more with Cain and Abel. I only covered a few features of Cain and Abel. And we're also going to be doing a different technique than certificate collecting later on in this series. So I hope you enjoyed it. It's the first episode, so I apologize if I'm a little annoying, or my mic's bad, or I'm just not expressing the topics very well, I'll try and get better. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a nice day.